Good morning on this, the last of my 8 walking days on this trip from Burgos to Leon. Leon is 18 kilometers away to the west, and this little fella, this shell, burnished with thousands of pilgrims' feet, says this way, this is the way, walk in it, and so I shall. I've just had breakfast at the Pasteleria Alonso's, very, very lovely. Pastry, cafe con leche and fresh squeezed orange juice for €5. Fabulous. It appears to be vegetable market day here. The traders are putting out their stalls. This is the main square. All very Spanish, love it. And on we go. The air has definitely changed overnight, and after walking for a day under a very intensive sun at about, I think it was about 24 degrees yesterday, this morning it's 6 degrees and top temperature according to the forecast is 11 degrees. Don't know how that works. Well, yes, the air's changed. It's not the only thing that's changed this morning. When I took my boots off yesterday, I discovered I'd got a massive blister hiding in my sock, my right sock. How did that get there? I thought to myself, because I hadn't noticed any discomfort. It was a long walk yesterday, 26 kilometers. I shouldn't be surprised. And it's in an unusual place. It's on the inside side of my heel. If you can picture that. No, don't picture that. It hasn't broken the skin. And so this morning, fortunately, I had come prepared in the foot department. And I have very good blister protection pads on it, and so I'm walking a bit gingerly this morning, just to give my feet and the skin and the sock time to sort of adjust to each other. The sky is lightening over there, but it's going to be like this, overcast all day, which I don't mind at all. Many of my Pellegrino pilgrim friends who I've met up along the way, which is one of the great things of the Camino, they unlike me, they're not stopping at Leon. They're walking on they hope to Santiago, which is another 300 kilometers. And I don't mind telling you that I am so glad I've only done 10 days, including traveling, 8 days walking. I would not thank you for rising from my bed tomorrow morning at the prospect of having to walk another 20 plus kilometers. I don't know what that makes me. Half a pilgrim, a demi-caminage, a demi-caminero. And I won't do the what did the Camino mean for you just now. It's too early to say. But I will have a go later on or tomorrow when I'm in Leon. Ciao for now. Now this has taken my eye. I like this. I like this. Firstly, it's using a standard wooden pallet on 2 posts. Secondly, it's very easy to read. What's that technique called? Doesn't matter. It's got a map, a distance. I like that a lot. What the guides say about this stretch is it's because it's on the outskirts of Leon or Leon, which is quite a big city. All they say is, oh, it's a bit uninteresting. That's absolutely nonsense. Look, there's a little mud hut with red pantile roof in the middle of a field. That's not uninteresting. And you won't be able to see it. I will zoom in through these trees, but there in the distance, I don't know if you can see, mountains with snow-capped tips, peaks, and it's gorgeous. It's like the set of a movie. How can you say it's uninteresting? There's something to see in every direction. A little refresco point there, a servicio I think they call it. Hey ho! There's that mud brick built dwelling in the middle of the field. I could live there. It needs a couple of windows, and in fact, if the plan comes together, the plan which I've not yet planned, I shall be living, well, not there, but in a David Henry Thoreau style log cabin by some water, a pond or a lake, probably in England, although that's not assured. In fact, none of it's assured, and I am really getting quite excited about the whole idea, the whole prospect of spending 2 years and 2 months in a log cabin in the woods, mostly writing. David Henry Thoreau wrote Walden in his log cabin, which he lived in for 2 years and 2 months. So, in homage to Mr. Thoreau, I'm going to give it a go. I'll let you know how I get on. Well, well, well. Look at this. Good morning, friend. Good morning, lovely dog. And you are not chained. Most Spanish dogs are chained. Hello, you're lovely, aren't you? And this is very unusual. There are chickens over there, I see. And sheep. Curly-horned sheep. And are these baby sheep? No, these are goats. Cabras. There's a goat. Look, the baby goats. Look. This is wonderful. The baby sheep. The lamb's trying to shag a goat. Or are they... Is that a goat as well? Oh, the goat shagging the sheep. No, that must be a goat. The white one must be. It's X-rated stuff, this. Shanks's Camino. Hello, boys or girls. I'm not sure which way you swing. Oh, that's nice. That's what sheep do. Hola, buenos días. Well, it is very unusual and very welcome. It's interesting that Very interesting that we get this near to a big city. I'll just get some grass if I can. Oh, even bending over is a little bit of a trial, to be honest. I'll just give them a little Tuesday morning treat. There you go, lovelies. Oh, sorry, I threw it on the back of the black Cabra goat. There you go. A little breakfast treat for you. Enjoy, disfruta. He's right ahead in the distance. I don't know if you can see him. My Camino Pellegrino pal, who's just past me. He's having a Camino dance. That's lovely. I think we should each have our own Camino dance. That's great. I'm going to create one now. Leaves on a tree. What's so unusual about that? I hear you ask. Well, compare it with the trees next door. That way. Oh, ooh, my knee. Or this way. Bare. They are fully budded, the other trees. Let's just have a look at this one. But this is the first one I've seen in just about full leaf. They've only come out in the past couple of days. Look at this. You see, I'm sounding like Chris Packham now. Look at the buds on that. Unstoppable. Life bursting through again. Now the thing about the leaves is that in a couple of weeks' time, when, if you remember, there were people had planted, I think they're called plane trees, by the side of the Camino for shade for the pilgrims. But of course, no leaves, no shade, so it'll be a couple of weeks, I think, before the leaves are out and the pilgrims are shaded. And this one is all just about coming out, post-bud, pre-leaf, absolutely lovely. This is another episode of Nature Watch on the Camino in northern Spain with me, Phil Packham. This is the landscape, and the guides might say this is boring going into Leon, but look at this. Look at that. It's fantastic. Snow-capped mountains in your own backyard. Gorgeous. Well, this tiny little village of Villa Moros, about 15 kilometres outside of Leon in the countryside, has put the spots out for the caminantes, the peregrinos on the Camino. Look, either that or Damien Hirst has got a holiday home here. There's the church without a steeple. In fact, instead of a steeple, what do you notice? There's a cross on top, but also what? It's a nest. It's a nest on top of the church. We saw some of those very large pelican-like or heron-like birds with big wingspan. There'll be a pair cohabiting in the nest above the church. Isn't that cool? I bet this would be a nice place to stay if we weren't moving on. Moving on. The last day. What's this? with a ribbon. Por cada persona semilla crece un mundo mejor. Oh, how lovely. Don't know who's put that there. For each person's seed creates a better world. Oh, now, there is that lovely saying that wise people seem to say, like farmers who live with nature. Well, and others, but those who love nature in particular, they say they just want to leave the world a better place than they found it. And I think you can't say better than that, to be honest. And there's also that time perspective where, you know, if like my friend Chris in Azerbaijan, he's just planted a vineyard. Well, he might be dead before the vineyard has matured and produces the best wine. But just do it. Who's this fella? I don't know. Oh, they're pointing. Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, got it. Thank you, dog, bird, cat, this way. Tortoise. That's me. That's me, the tortoise. And that's me today. Just see if he's got the same blister and corn on the right foot that is causing me a little bit of jip. But I have been trying to use the heat or the energy. You see, you focus on what grabs your attention and it gets bigger. And I've been breathing oxygen and air and blood into my right foot where it hurts, sort of to treat it. And everything that we encounter can be a point of learning. Well, that's the idea, I'll tell you. If it gets any better, my heel, that is, or my attitude towards the discomfort. I can't honestly say pain, it's just discomfort. And here's the baker's van, Mr. the Panaderia. He is. Oh look, this is where he makes the bread, and he's the heifer. Look at all the bread, fresh out of the Panaderia. Wonderful. We've met the master baker. We've just said hello, or we've just met the master baker of Villa Moros, filling his white van up by hand with all sorts of different loaves, and it just makes me think I can't think of anything finer in this life than to be the local bread maker. What better service could you offer your community than the bread of life? For heaven's sake, manna from heaven every day from the local baker. There's something to aspire to, isn't it? You don't want to set up a YouTube channel for clickbait, do you, when you could feed the community with good, honest, tasty bread, the staff of life. Another, I think, very worthwhile practical service that I can imagine being worthwhile is we passed a service station for Gasolinera a while back, off the beaten track, not on the main road, and it was a perfectly modern 4-pump, 6-pump, whatever gas station here, and there was nobody there, but I noticed there was one little blue car, which would be the man or the woman who is the attendant, and it had a notice saying it is attendant service. We don't have this in Britain anymore, not that I know of, but it's quite common, certainly on Lanzarote where I used to live, and evidently here, that you just drive in to the service station, petrol station, and somebody comes out to fill you up, and they might even clean your windscreen for free. What a lovely service that is to help you on your way. Now, I'm not a big fan of noisy cars. I chose not to have a car for 10 years until I succumbed 18 months ago for want of the love of a woman who lived a mile away. No, not a mile away, an hour away. So I told myself I needed a car to fuel that love affair, which I'm glad I did, and still enjoy it. And summer's coming up and it's convertible, so I do enjoy the top down, but being a service attendant, just fueling everybody going about their business, their life, in a sort of back of beyond place, maybe a bit like Roy's Cafe on Route 66, which is where John the Beard flipped burgers and made breakfasts for all the Caminos on Route 66 from Chicago to Los Angeles, including, we think, Bob Dylan. So there's another worthwhile pursuit. When I lived in Sheffield by the river, I rented my friend's lovely apartment with a balcony over the River Don in the heart of the industrial area, but it's lovely. Don't ask about the barbecue on the terrace. Of course, everything's devoted to cars, but if you're a pedestrian in that part called Kellam Island, it is an island, and so to get anywhere you've got to walk to the next bridge. And I thought, council permitting, I could be a ferryman. That would be of service, wouldn't it? A ferryman to the good people of Sheffield. So, take your choice. Baker, petrol attendant, cafe, burger flipper, or ferryman. Any one of those would do me nicely, I think. What would you do? This, of course, is another life of service choice. I've met several hospitaleros, if that's the right word, on the length of the Camino this time, who are just there with a good heart and hopefully coffee, and in this case with Helen, some homemade cake, €1.20 for coffee and cake. And you can tell it's not a commercial venture for her. It's just, she has a heart for the Camino, as she says. And I've just offered to be her professor d'Inglés in the afternoons, teach her English in the afternoon. She can teach me Spanish. And she was very impressed with my track record of looking after hens, gallinas, in Spanish. She has 3, and I showed her the pictures of my 3, while Julia's 3 Nancy, Miranda and Jennifer, and the different colour eggs that they lay. And so I've got another hen sitting gig anytime I want here near Leon. She tells me it's only about 12 kilometres to go. I'm a happy man. This is a bit like a scene in a western. Empty street, windy, chilly, shutters are down, nobody about, only the sound of a complaining dog. And I don't mean me. I'm trying not to complain despite the discomfort in my right foot. It'll pass. Well, even if it doesn't, it's welcome. It's part of it, isn't it? It's noon, it's midday, and I've actually been distracted by the thought of a glass of red wine and Copa de Vino Tinto, and so I've come off track just a little. Aha! Yes, I was looking for the church. Next to the church, there's supposed to be a cafe bar, and I'm hoping to get a little drink of red wine to warm me on the inside. Yesterday, 24 degrees. Today, 8 degrees. Let's see if we can find something here in the albergue al lado dell'iglesia. Look at this. Off the beaten track, but on the money. I've found my red wine. I've also found eggs and chips. And we've even got some Spanish pop music to enjoy. It is chilly, but I am, excuse me, warmed by being on the Camino next to the church here in Spain. Cheers. Well, I am on the threshold not only of Leon, my final destination, but this way it is 8 degrees and overcast all morning, and the sun has just come out, or rather, that's an interesting expression. Of course, the sun doesn't come out anywhere. The sun is obscured by cloud, and the cloud is just, you can see the thick layer. It's just decided to move on by. And this is exactly what it's like with our thoughts. Our thoughts are like clouds. They come and go. They persuade us it's pleasant or not so pleasant. But the truth is, the sun is always shining. Hey ho. Well, this is my destination for today, and indeed for this leg of my Camino. I always want to burst out into the sweets hit. I can't even remember it. My Sharona on my Camino. 10 days in total, 8 days on the way, 140 odd kilometers, about 100 miles. I'm staying in a single bedroom. I'm treating myself to a single bedroom for my last night. Ease my aching feet, who've been very good to me. And my hostel is 5 kilometers somewhere down there. This is Leon in northern Spain. I have also been to Lyon in the south of France, which is very hilly like Sheffield. This is not as hilly, but I shall really enjoy wandering in. Today we take Leon. Tomorrow we take Manhattan. But we'll leave that for tomorrow. Finally, I can't tell you what a relief it is to arrive at today's and this year's final destination. This is the corridor to heaven. This is what it looks like when you make a choice. I choose number 17. Number 17, and I'm a winner. I'm in heaven. They have made my bed, and now I'm going to lie on it. A little siesta. Although I have expressed in earlier videos my reservations about grandiose churches and the cost of them, I have to say that on this trip to Spain, where religious practice and, or shall we say ritual and procession is much more important than I am familiar with in England, for example, there's no mistaking the centrality of these fabulous religious buildings and rituals and processions in life. And Alain de Botton, the philosopher, he of the bald head, and also founder of the School of Life, he actually suggests or recommends even that we have a secular religion, which sounds like an oxymoron, doesn't it? Secular religion. In other words, religion without God. And why not? Because we need some focus other than poor little me, or what makes little me happy day to day. Oh, there's a nice little, now that's my sort of church. I could go to that church.